You're listening to the Academy Podcast, presenting an innovative curriculum for personal growth. Sit in on exclusive conversations with influential people as they share the secrets that made them the front runners in their industries. Now, here are your hosts, Austin and Kagia.
All right, so check it out, man. Just let me tell you what issue I want to bring to the table today. You know, every time we talk, man, I got an issue, and this one is Ron. She pretty lady know we about to do a podcast, so she's like, "Look, keep my name out of your mouth."
Right.
I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "You know what I'm talking about."
She's upset.
Look, no. But the reason this is impossible is because I am married, dude.
Okay.
Now, if I'm talking for 20 minutes, you ought to find out that I'm married.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm preaching for a half hour, you ought to find out that I got a wife, and you're gonna find out something about her. You know, so I don't know how. You know, I know she's more introverted and I'm always running my mouth. But if I'm running my mouth, it better come across her. That's my opinion. Like, if I wasn't talking about you, if people could get to know me and just find out later that I'm married, I think that would be a problem.
Okay.
So,
do you give her a warning before you start talking about her?
No, I don't know. See, even in my sermons, dude, I don't know that I'm going to talk about her.
Okay.
Because look, in my sermon, I got stuff laid out, but I'm not manuscript. So there's always going to be some stuff that come out of the blue. Right. That stuff that come out of the blue is the stuff that's on my mind. The stuff that's on my mind is half the time the pretty lady. So I'm going to end up using her in my sermons organically just because she my wife, dude. So my question is, you know, what you think about it? Because the argument is, I remember having an argument with my brother once about MySpace. We going way back, and Facebook. Right. He thought that it's MySpace or Facebook, so it should be all about me and not about my spouse. It just should be about me. They're coming to learn about me. And I'm thinking, I was like, I don't know about that, dude. I think it should be about you, and you consists of you. Like CeeLo said, me and my family. Right. So that's my thing. And we got somebody that can help us with this, man. Man, help us out, man. We listen,
man. He's not ready for the pod, man. He's texting, man. He not ready.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what I was doing, man. I'm sharing on Facebook. I took a screenshot of this moment and I shared on Facebook, and I said, "Mama, I made it. Mama, I made it. I made it to the Academy podcast. Look, there's no lies, man. I can show you right now.
Sharing. That's real love. That's real love. Yo.
First of all, I gotta say, man, just watching y'all's interaction, man, the organic, y'all got it, man. This is dope. I love this.
Man, we appreciate it. You know, all of this stuff is real. It's no fake stuff here, man.
Even though y'all sham my son, man, out of that 2K tournament, man.
He made it all the way to the final. He made it all the way to the Final Four, but he came up a little short, Doc. He came up just a little bit short, man.
Hold up. In the second tournament or the first one?
First one.
Oh, he made it to the Final Four? I didn't know that.
He made it far, yeah, because one kid dropped out. So he did good.
Somebody dropped out.
Oh, he was riding.
Somebody dropped. We lost mine. We'll get him back.
But I want to ask him, you know, he tried to sidestep. We're gonna have to ask him again that question. Listen, how much of it, how can I do podcasts, do sermons? How much can I be out there without bringing up my wife, without bringing up my kids? You know what I'm saying? What do you think, Doc?
No, what I'm saying, I bring up my wife a lot. I used to, but you know, she's like, babe, you don't have to bring me up all the time. But I was younger, I used to do it all the time because I was so happy to be with somebody that looked so good. So I used to just do it. It was organic. It wasn't always planned. Sometimes it was planned. Now, if I have illustrations about my wife, I will still have it in there. I won't tell her. She acts like she don't like it, but she like it. See, now Rondora, for those who are listening to on our podcast on Spotify or iTunes, G is smiling right now because he knows how much it irks his wife when she gets the stories. A couple of weeks ago on the pod, if you guys remember, on one of our bonus episodes, he brought up a really funny story. He's always bringing up. But I think for me, you know, I think if it happens organically, you're right. Listen, our wives should know. People should know that we are married when they get to talking to us. I do it too. Organically, I'll bring up my wife this, my wife that. So I'll just naturally just do it. So that's me. That's me.
And I think that's the way it should be, Doc. I mean, because, and listen, if I don't, like she's saying, don't bring her up, but if I didn't, would she like that? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes the grass is just greener. She'd be like, I wish this dude would stop bringing me up all the time. But I wonder, you know, how would she feel if people were exposed to me and misconstrued, you know, thinking, you know, that I wasn't married or something because I never bring it up. One of the things that I've had to do, in this day and age, with friends of mine when I see them, and I hadn't seen them in a long time, wondering if they're still married or not, because it's been 4 years. And it's this time frame of, do I bring it up? I kind of wait for them to kind of drop a hint or say something about their wife, because do I bring it up? They could be going through a messy divorce. They could be fighting over the kids or something, and just kind of waiting for them to drop a hint. Are they still married? Instead of just coming right in like, where your wife, boy? So
I can see you doing that, kind of. And then you act like, oh man, she left me 2 years ago. Yeah, I can see you doing that.
It has happened. So Myron, what's your take on it, Doc?
Nah, I'm with you, man. I feel like, if you're around a dude long enough, man, you ought to know if that dude is married, man, or anybody of that nature. Hey, I was watching that Netflix, man, what's that Netflix movie that came on? This dude, one of my mentees just walked in the house, and he's doing inappropriate stuff to make me laugh right now. Yo, what is the name of what's that movie that had Nia Long is on it? It just came out.
Fatal Attraction, I think it's called.
Yeah, something like that. It's like something. But Joe, man, start watching this movie, and man, the way that she was behaving in the beginning, we wouldn't even mention she was married and stuff like that, and it just made me and my wife get into a conversation about that. Now, I just feel like, it should come out. It comes out all the time. I'm always talking about my wife. I'm always talking about my kids. It should come out.
It should come out, and that's true too. The kids thing too. Like, yo, if you got a family, people should know if they're talking to you long enough, it should just come out organically, regardless for that stuff, man. So I'm with you on that. The problem is, you just be bringing up stuff that your wife don't want to be heard over the airways, man. That's the thing with you. He just be spilling all the beans, man. He just want to share.
Listen, there is not much I mind sharing. I'm pretty much, if you want to know.
Right. That's it.
It's an open book.
That's it, man. That's it.
Right. So I'm in the glass house, but
don't we go back, man? We did a family evangelistic meeting together, man.
Wow.
Oh,
Tennessee.
Oh man, that's
what year was that? Y'all remember?
I say it was like
2007. 2007, 2008. Yeah.
Wow, that's
man. And we were dealing with family back then. This man, and can I introduce Dr. Myron Edmonds right now? Yeah. Listen, this man, we're talking to him now, and we've figured out that we can't really do biopics with everybody we bring on here.
Right.
It's impossible for us to say this episode is about Dr. Myron Edmonds, because basically that would be too long. Like we would have to have a series. Right. And so we really had to marshal it down, because if I really introduced him, I would bring up, I'd bring up this book that changed the life around the Scott house. I could bring up that, but we're not talking about that today.
Right.
We talking about family a little bit. We're talking about marriage. We'll talk about the men's thing he has coming up. Yep. I could ask him, look, where did you disappear to, man, for about 3 months earlier this year? We could talk about that. I mean, I could talk about his outside church that I seen just recently. Yeah. And so how did that come about and what's going on, man? Myron is doing so much. Right. But really we want to.
He said that though. He disappeared for 3 months. It sounded very like scandalous.
It sounded real shady. It's like I just kind of left.
Like I was in jail for 3 months.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, listen, the people don't know. People don't know.
Yo, but for those who are listening to us,
let me see your jail tat. What you got?
No, it's on his back. It's a large back tattoo that he has on. But yo, listen, for those who don't know, Pastor Dr. Myron Edmonds is pastoring in the Cleveland area, Cleveland, Ohio. He's a great preacher. The best kept secret in this household is that my wife's favorite pastor is Pastor Myron Edmonds, and so we'll on the Academy podcast we'll honor that today. But he's an awesome man of God. He's got some great things lined up. As G said, we could talk to him about everything, but we got a few things that we want to get into that's coming up that I think is going to be great, not just for families, but specifically for men. But G, man, what you got for us, man? Take it away today, man. What we got for Dr. Edmonds today?
Man, Doc, first I want to talk to you about marriage, and because you have this men's thing coming up, I wanted to know, well, from your standpoint, every time you go to a marriage ministry meeting, we will split up and the wives go over here and the guys go over here. And so this is kind of sort of that thing. And in my household, just over the years, I've learned to fix me. And I had a problem with that, Myron. I had a problem with every time there was an issue, it was me. I mean, because I don't have a problem with self-esteem, right? So, but marriage will mess with your self-esteem because it seemed like 9 out of every 10 issues
is you
was me. And then the other one, I wouldn't even bring up. So 100% of the issues that we dealt with was dealing with me.
Right.
Yeah, you married. That's
fact. And so what I found out later, though, what I was kind of thinking about even today before we talked, man, when I was thinking about this question is that even though it was a lot of me fixing, I still got the results from her that I would have been asking for by fixing me.
Okay.
And so I just wanted to ask your take on, because you are doing something for men, and how is that going to trickle down to the family? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So how is the breakout session beneficial?
Yeah. So this is how all this came about. So last week or the week before last, I randomly, it was just totally randomly, I was like, I think I'm gonna go live every day, 5 days out of the week, and just talk about men stuff. Now, that was on the heels of me like doing this. I did like this personal revival thing. Just to be honest, I just felt like I was disconnected from God. Not like, where I felt like I was lost, I was ready to go out into the world, that kind of thing. But just, you know how it is sometimes where you just feel like you just need to reconnect. You need to get, you feel distant from the Lord. So anyway, man, after coming off that, man, I felt like invigorated. I felt fired up, man. I just felt like the word was just bubbling inside of me. And so, man, and plus, we've been sort of like oppressed because we ain't oppressed, I should say, we've been able to preach. We ain't been able to preach to nobody, man, because we've been doing all this camera stuff anyway. So man, I just felt led to do this thing about men from this one comment that my wife made to me when we were married. And the comment was, she felt like I was Clark Kent at home and Superman everywhere else. So that just kind of opened up my mind. I was like, you know what? I think a lot of brothers can relate to that. I think a lot of brothers out there are winning, like in their profession, winning in terms of, or at least they're trying to win in things such as significance. And I think that's really, if you would look at, honestly, people say, well, men struggle with women and the money and power. No, men, the thing that drives all of those things is a thirst and a hunger for significance. That's a man's struggle, the struggle for significance, man. And so all those other things become issues because they give us a sense of value and significance, although they don't last forever. So I was like, let me speak into the lives of men. And I'm particularly thinking about people that you and I went to school with and, people we're cool with. I mean, we're not living in a day and age anymore where, for the most part, most of these guys are educated, they're doing well in their profession, they got degrees and so forth. But I know a lot of brothers that's just hurting, they're unhappy in their marriages, they're having issues with their kids, mental health issues, spiritually, they're feeling disconnected from God. But man, they got this going on, and they got their hobbies, and they got their profession, and you know what I'm saying? They got this and that or whatever. And so I was just like, man, maybe that's the problem. Maybe we're just trying to win in the wrong stuff. And maybe if we prioritize, and that was really the thing I was trying to speak to, if we prioritize our lives, we could see an impact. And so just real simply, just to answer your question, there's a bunch of research that shows that when men essentially get themselves together, that families are more likely, you know what I'm saying? Girls are less likely to get pregnant, kids less likely to go to prison. Wives are happier, families actually live longer. Literally, man, the man, and this is kind of like unpopular nowadays because of equality, and I believe in equality, I believe in all that stuff, but you just can't argue with the facts. The facts are when men are healthy, generally speaking, families are healthy.
Yeah.
Man, that brings me, and you kind of brought up some research, and one question that I was thinking about earlier is the fact that you are educated. in family matters, and you have experience in family matters. I mean, which I don't want to ask two questions at once, but you're pretty transparent when you were doing your men thing
Right.
a couple of weeks ago. You were bringing up things that you had gone through,
Right.
and so that was your experience. But then also you've studied. Also,
Right.
you've looking at research. You're still looking at research. All right. So how much does research affect what you teach versus experience? And how do those things play off each other?
Yeah, man, the research just proves what we already knew, man. That's what it does. It proves what we already knew. And so, you have to use them in balance. But honestly, the approach a couple of weeks ago for the series, for those who didn't see it, it's on Facebook. It'll be on YouTube soon. 5 ways that men can win and the things that matter. So for 5 days, I just talked about areas that we can win in, which we mentioned before. But yeah, so I'm just really just trying to push this thing of, especially when you're approaching men, like, yo, I'm coming broken, I'm coming vulnerable.
Right.
I feel like if you come any other, even though men celebrate success and we're impressed by success, we're impressed by ball players and we're impressed by people's cars and houses and money and what their stock investment portfolios and stuff like that. We are impressed, but to be honest, if you really want to get a man's attention where it matters, I think the way you come, you got to come broken, you got to come vulnerable, you got to come real. And so that's normally how I tried to be, but especially with men, I just realized I was like, yo, if I'm gonna be effective, I feel like I need to really share that I have not accomplished all this stuff, but that the win really is brokenness. And that's what Paul says. Paul says, look, man, he said, hey, when we are weak, that's when we're strong. For many men, they think the opposite. They think strength is not admitting weakness. Don't cry. Don't show emotions. All the stuff that we're socially, and here's the research, we're socialized to think this way. Men are socialized to be strong, to be tough, to keep it in. Have you ever seen a man, like, he may be at church, he's like sharing his testimony.
Yeah.
And then he gets a little emotional and he'll say, y'all forgive me. Y'all forgive me. I don't
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, where does that come from? Like,
Right. Why do we do that?
Yeah, why do we do that? Who told us that we have to fight it? We'd make all these ugly faces, like we're trying to hold it in, trying to be strong. But again, that just falls into the the sort of the miseducation of manhood, the toxic, they call it toxic masculinity.
Right.
This idea that we have to be tough.
Yeah.
Strong, we can't admit weakness. And I think that thing is the thing that's killing men. One woman said, well, actually it was in the book, I forgot my man's name, but he wrote the book, The Mask of Masculinity. And he was quoting this woman. He said, women get help, men die.
Wow.
So that's good.
Yo, so I want to ask you, I think, when you were doing the 5 days where you were just being transparent, was up early in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, we were jumping on, those who were eager and got on. I appreciate the level of transparency where you were able to share, not, as G mentioned, not just stats or not just other stuff that you read, but it was out of your own experiences that you kind of brought out to light, some of the things that you were struggling with, and men were commenting, people were all in it. What made you want to say, you know what, I got to take this off of Facebook Live and really dig deep and get it into to a private Zoom session that we're going to talk about? Because I got to make this point, D, real quick. I got to make this point that so I put in the chat, I was like, yo, it was on live. I was like, yo, man, Pastor Edmonds is ripping my flesh. This is what I'm doing. And there was like women in the chat like, you better be doing better. So one lady messages me offline and is just like, yo, like, if this word is for you, you got to do better right now. And it was funny to me, but I just know other brothers who said, you know what? I wish you would take this into a private space. So talk to us about you kind of making the decision to really do this conference, this one-day conference. And how many men do you have signed up so far? Can you tell us right now how many men you got?
It's almost 800. We almost have 800 men registered. Yo, but let me say this. Yes. So for those who don't know, we are that's a great way to segue. We're doing a virtual conference on July 26th from 1 to 4, entitled 5 Ways That Men Can Win, and it's exclusively for men. And yo, the crazy thing is, bro, the reason why I'm doing this was not planned. I'm telling you, everything that has happened with the 5 Ways That Men Can Win first started off with me admitting basically 5 ways that I've lost.
Right.
So and then, as a result of acknowledging these are 5 ways that I've lost, but I know I need to win in these areas. I've been winning in other areas, but I've been losing here. And then that just the response was tremendous, right? And then I put a post up on Facebook, and it was something like, because a woman reached out to me, she was like, yo, I think that you need to help women to support men. Like, I think you can speak into some women's lives and show them how to support their men who are hurting. And so I put a post that's like, yo, is there any sisters out there that are willing and interested in being educated? Was the term I use, on how to support their bleeding men. Now, on that post, I saved like 250 people liked the post. Most of the women agreed with it. But then there was subsections on my post that got maybe like 50 comments. Maybe I'm exaggerating.
Oh, wow.
30 comments. And they were all like, no, you know what? I don't understand why women always have to be the ones that have to improve themselves in order to support their men. When you gonna start teaching men how to support women?
Right.
You need to spend some time training these men.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, your boy just gave 5. I was poured into these brothers for
5 days, 5 mornings.
Man, I put my soul on the line, man. For 5 days, I put one post up. And so, like, listen. So I know it's got funny. It was at that point.
Yeah.
You know what? The brother told me, listen, man, we need to have a close conversation. Because one of the things I started noticing is the more that the sisters would comment on my thread. And a sister told me this. She was just like, a sister told me this. Now, some brothers said it too, but sister was like, bro, you need to do something with the men exclusively. She was like, because we're talking too much on these lives that you're doing. And notice the men are getting silent because the women are doing all the talking. And I was like, man, you ain't never lied. I was like, look, we're about to do a little conference, man, have maybe like 50 guys, and we just spend some time talking about this. Man, that thing went from 50 guys to, man, let me ask Eric Thomas if he would mind joining. And then Eric, come on. Now, I went to school with Eric. Kagia did too. We know Eric. But, I don't got it like that. But I asked him, the dude was like, yes, immediately. Just like, yes, I'm in. And once Eric said yes, everything else fell into place.
Yeah.
Ronnie Vanderhorst, Freddie Russell, your mentor, Nate Drew, and Jason O'Rourke. And it just all came together. And then next thing I know, man, it went from planning for 50. And then the first week, we got almost 800 people to sign up. So that's
amazing.
So my point is this. I'll just say this and shut up. Men are, all the sisters out there that think that men don't care about this stuff, they do. Men are hungry, but they want to do it in their own space. They want to do it in a safe space. And yes, brothers are interested in improving themselves in various areas of life. And they want to love their women better. They want to love their men. Love their children rather. They want to love. They want to pay attention to self-care. I think we have a generation of men that are open to these things. They just don't often know how to go about it. And so I'm just going to be a broken brother trying to facilitate other broken brothers with some of my friends who are coming on to pour in, who themselves are broken, to kind of help create a movement of men winning in the things that matter.
Right. And I appreciate this, G, because what Myron's doing, I wouldn't have been able to go to this conference probably if it was, somewhere in town. There's no COVID. I couldn't get to it. Maybe I would have watched online if they had it available. So it's so dope that even in quarantine, we got 800 men, myself, others, those who are from all over the country. I'm sure there are probably those who are not a part of this country who have signed up, who are a part of it. And Myron, speak to the shift that you've made and how it's benefited you with, instead of doing most of your ministry, even though you're still active in your community. Talk a little bit about why this is so important to do this online for men right now.
Before you answer, let me say that this I know I said I was gonna stick to a certain points, but we are talking to the pioneer of ministry in social media.
Oh, that's true.
We are talking to the one who was doing it before COVID.
That's true. If those who are watching, those who are in the Adventist circle, a couple years ago, Myron did something called Prophecy Made Easy or something like that. That was online. That was on Zoom. Streamed through Zoom to Facebook. Myron has been a, let's say, trailblazer for the online ministry. He's kind of
that's true.
You did if you remember, you did that first series. You brought people in to teach on prophecy. Now we love Pastor James Doggett and what he's done with the quarantine revival with prophecy that he did. But if we're really looking back far enough, the first prophecy revival that we had online was that Prophecy Made Easy, which the videos, if Myron, this is a true story, is because the videos are still on your page even now. It's still there. And so it's there to access. So those who are listening, you want to make sure you get over to Myron Edmonds' page on Facebook to catch him out. He's got lots of it. But G, you're right. He has kind of, Myron, you've been the trailblazer, even though you may not see it as that. You have done a lot of stuff. You've given a lot of content online. I guess really to really add another note to my question is that why is it so important for you to just have that presence?
I just don't want to. I just constantly thinking like, how can we reach people? How can we reach people? That's the pastoral evangelistic nature in me. And so it's just obvious to me that everybody's on social media. There's no rocket science to this. I think we need to be leveraging this tool. And the reason I know this is because, right now people are literally starting multi-million-dollar businesses from just online Facebook ads, etc. And my thing is, man, just watch business. Whatever business is doing, then that's where we need to follow. Just look back 50, 60 years ago. Like we would have Bible workers, right? And the Bible workers and evangelism, if you're not a Christian or you're an Adventist, Bible workers like a person who would teach people the Bible. They would help people to join the church. So we have these Bible workers, and Bible workers would go out and, they would knock on doors and they would try to get interest, and you baptize all these people. Well, things have shifted now. They don't work no more. You can't just go knock on people's doors and stuff like that. But to me, we have this opportunity with social media. You don't got to give nobody a flyer for free. For free, you can tap in to your entire network. And literally everybody.
Yeah.
Because my mama is on, my mama's on it. Some of y'all grandmothers is on Facebook. And since COVID, and this is the point I'm making, since COVID, social media participation, look at the numbers, has gone up significantly.
Right.
Everybody is on Facebook.
Right.
TikTok is blowing up. Yo, dude, I put a post on TikTok, and I'm not saying this for vainglory. I'm literally saying this because of the possibilities that we have to reach people now. I put a post up on TikTok about relationships. It got 300,000 views.
Oh my goodness.
TikTok, LinkedIn is blowing up now, like as a social media space and not just a professional space. And so I'm saying we have these mediums before us to be able to reach people. We ought to be leveraging it and using them. And just like the two of y'all, I like to talk. So
it's gonna work.
The camera, it isn't. Social media is like at home for me. So yeah.
So G, man, we got Dr. Edmonds on here, man, and this is an exclusive interview. Have him on this pod here. Let's see if we can get something out of him. A little preview into what into this five ways that men can win. Dr. Edmonds, can you kind of give us a preview of what me and G we signed up? We're gonna be there, but can you kind of give us, man, a preview, a Academy Podcast exclusive preview to what we can experience for those couple of hours?
No, seriously, man, and I'm not saying this. This is no marketing. This is just real. Bro, look at the lineup of people, man, that's going to be presenting. Look at the people that's going to be presenting on the show. Bro, you got Freddie Russell that's going to be talking about spirituality. Yeah. Man, game over, bro. Yeah. This is legit a dream team in my house. I'm going to break down. Freddie Russell on spirituality, there's a lot of stuff Freddie is good at. He's got leadership. He's like good at everything. But, man, I'm telling you, he's probably made the most impact on my life.
Same here.
Motivating me to be a man of God, like for real.
Yep.
Like, my relationship with God goes to another level every time I'm around him. That's how I feel about him. So we got Freddie talk about that, like boom. Then we got your boy Jason O'Rourke. A lot of people may not be familiar with Jason O'Rourke, but Jason O'Rourke is pastoring overseas. But Jason O'Rourke wrote a book called Sexuology.
Right, that's right.
Sex and theology. But anyway, it's based on his personal story of abuse, of sexual addiction, of everything. And this dude is about to get butt naked. I'm talking about like in the spiritual sense. I'm like, boy, listen, this dude is one of the realest cats I've ever met. If anybody knows Jason O'Rourke, I'm speaking total facts. And that's what we need when it talks about sexual purity and sexual addiction, a lot of stuff that men are dealing with, that all of us have dealt with. He's going to be addressing that. Who else we got? We got Nathaniel Drew. Nathaniel Drew is one of my good friends. He's a pastor, but he is also recently a therapist. Yep. Received his degree in counseling and therapy. But man, this brother has a powerful story as well about traumas and things that have happened to him. He's going to be sharing his story, and he's going to be giving us a little bit.
Shout out to Nathaniel Drew, man. A great, not only just a great guy, but a great preacher of righteousness. Yeah, he knows his stuff. He's an educated black man, so I'm excited to hear about what he's got.
Yeah, don't sleep on him. Like, I got some sleepers on here, and I got some obvious guys.
Boy, man, don't sleep on him.
Nate's a sleeper, man. But this guy, he's got it. He's really got a handle on mental health for black men in particular, and addressing those things with us. What did I get? I said spiritual. I said sex. I said mental health, parenting. Oh man, fatherhood. Ronnie Vanderhorst. Enough said, bro. Y'all know who Ronnie Vanderhorst.
The legend.
But seriously, man, this brother got an anointing for fatherhood. And listen, the reason why I brought these men on for these subjects is because all of them have made deposits in my life in these areas. Ronnie Vanderhorst in the area of fatherhood. He is like, this is my philosophy. I feel like I need to have a mentor in my life in all the things that matter. And in many respects, these individuals represent mentors for me, and they've all impacted me. Vanderhorst, though, when it comes to parenting, this brother done kept me from killing all my kids. Like, this brother kept me apologizing and repenting to my kids. Like, I'm telling you, this guy got me setting a vision for my family every year in family worship. He helped to inspire and motivate me with the family worship book. Look, I mean, bro. All right, and then of course we got Eric Thomas. Y'all know Eric Thomas, man. But listen, everybody knows Eric from the, succeed as bad as you want to breathe. You know what I'm saying? I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, Eric.
Yeah.
It's like that, Eric. Like y'all know that. But listen, man, Eric on a whole nother level. Y'all ain't never heard. Have you ever heard this man talk about marriage? Brother, listen. When you listen, this brother got a story about marriage, his experience, things that way he pours in about marriage. And so I think, to me, I feel like I got everybody positioned in their unique spot. Like, I'm a GM. That's how I see myself. I'm like Bill Jackson. I'm a coach.
Yes, sir.
I'm positioning these guys. Yeah. And there will be more because I got a whole lot of other friends. Listen, but this is step one. And, man, I just think it's going to be tremendous. Hey, guys, look, it's for 3 hours. It's from 1 to 4. But it's going to be worth your while. Look. Normally, we'd be watching a game for 3 hours. We would be watching NBA. Come on, we would. Now, man, for free, you can you can start winning. Like, come on, let's go.
Let me just say that just one of those names alone would not typically be for free, guys. And Dr. Edmonds has given us a starting 5. Gee, man, how you feel about that though?
Listen, man, Eric Doc is on my, you talk. We had a thing we did about hip hop, and we were naming our top 5. But I had a thing, that I did back in the day of my top 5 all time people that I would go to for advice, and dead and alive. And I had like Ben Franklin on there, Thomas Edison on there. I had T. Marshall Kelly on there, I was almost embarrassed. Because Eric is a peer. He is my boy. But the reality is my homeboy is right up there in my mind with Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Edison, T. Marshall Kelly, Eric Thomas, James Doggett.
Facts.
That's my list.
Dude, man, y'all making me take some notes on some stuff y'all said.
It's true though. I mean, it's
true.
But
there's this thing, man. Just to help you with your notes, there's this thing called the Mastermind Group, man. That your boy who wrote Think and Grow Rich has, like, when he's making a decision, he has like a boardroom in his mind of the people he admires, and he has them argue over his decision. And so I kind of came up with my 5 that I'd have in my boardroom. So that's kind of where I was coming from.
Speaking of mastermind, I'm just throwing this out here. Just know, even though the way this thing came about was very organic, spirit-led, I'm just going to put this out here. There's going to be a follow-up to this conference. And we're going to announce that. We're going to announce this at the conference. And I think
you heard it here first right on the Academy podcast.
I ain't told nobody this, but just stay tuned. We're about to make an announcement. I'm serious. That really, I think, is going to really create a revival and a movement of men trying to win in the things that matter.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question too, because the name of your thing is winning in the things that matter, which that's the side of a coin. So the other side of the coin has to be there's some things that don't matter that men are trying to win in. Help us with that, because you ain't talking about that in the meeting. So talk to us about what are men doing that don't really matter as much as we think it matters.
Yeah, I'll just flip each one, you know. So let me just say this. So first of all, I believe that men, our leaning and our bent is towards idolizing significance.
Right.
Idolizing success, idolizing accomplishment, idolizing affirmation, idolizing approval. Are y'all with me on that? I feel like men, come on, from day one, right. You know, many of us get involved in sports.
Right.
Because somebody dissed us in school or somebody talked about us or if we did something compensate. Let me just tell you a quick story real quick. One of the reasons why I got into basketball and sports is because I felt like I wasn't as handsome as some of the other guys that were getting girls, or I felt I wasn't this. Or I didn't dress as good as these guys. So, even from elementary school to middle school, you try to find ways to stand out so that you can be recognized, so that people can see you as important, so people can see you as the man. And all of us find those ways. So it became sports, and then it became clothes, and it became girls. And you know what I'm saying? And all of these things we do as boys, we never really get rid of those things when we become men. And we just exchange those things for promiscuous relationships, or we exchange those things for being religious instead of being spiritual. There's a lot of brothers out there that take pride in knowledge and being deep and saying stuff and being like the Sabbath school guy or being the preacher, but they're really spiritual. They're not spiritual. Like they do religious stuff, but they don't have a relationship with God. So I'm saying, if you were to flip all 5 of these things, marriage, instead of loving their wives and instead of prioritizing the health of their wife, that my wife should go to another level. She should go to another level as a person because she's married to me. I'm not using her to go to another level. Again, the point is that the flip side of this, Kagia, and I think this is a very great question, is we are trying to win in things that don't matter. And generally, all of these things have one thing in common. It is the self-aggrandizement, self-recognition, and affirmation, and the significance and the success that says, look at me, look what I've accomplished. Truth is, many of these things are simply voids and pains and traumas and unresolved that have happened in our childhood, lack of relationship with our fathers, poor relationship with our mothers, things that have happened to us, and we compensate. So men are always either self-medicating or kind of compensate something they lack. And I am one of the biggest examples of that. I told y'all, I told everyone, addicted to porn, struggle with lust, all these things, man. Just, and you show me a brother out there ain't struggling with lust, Anyway, this is a struggle, man. So you struggle with these things. And, when I went to counseling, man, one of the things she was saying, man, she really got deep, was like, man, you don't got no sex problem, bro. You don't got no porn problem. You don't got no lust problem. What you have is an anger issue. She's like, you have a significance issue. You have a loneliness issue. Oh, now let's talk about that. And listen, that's one of the things I believe about men in particular, and I'll shut up. I think a lot of our men are lonely, and they use some of these things unbeknownst to the fact that they're lonely. They don't know that they're lonely. They know something is missing, and a lot of these things are simply just trying to fill this void of stuff that's empty in their lives. My goal, man, I feel like if we win at least in these 5, and there are others, but if we can win in these 5 right here as men, then I think our lives will be so much more improved, and we don't even got to fight for significance anymore. When you're significant at home with your family, who cares what else thinks? When you're significant with the King, when you're in his presence and you're in the Lord on another level, oh man, who cares about anybody else? Like you're moving mountains now. You know what I'm saying? If you are able to control your urges, or as Devon Franklin said, control the dog, you know what I'm saying? And have power, self-control. I mean, what? You know what I mean, bro? So that's where I am. And I think that's what this conference is going to be about.
Yeah, I can't wait. I love that. I'm ready to go to higher. Gee, I'll be honest. After those 5 mornings, man, I felt like trash. I felt like every single. Now, one thing that's good about Pastor Edmonds is that he'll give you the things that you're doing wrong, but he'll always follow up and say, look, now here's ways you can fix it. So I do appreciate the fact that even though because I'm not gonna lie, look, man, I realized how much of a loser I really was after he told me how I could win. So I'm looking forward to finding ways to win in the right way, so that my wife will say that I'm her favorite pastor inside of my own home. So we're gonna work we're gonna work towards that. But listen, I know we got a lot going on, but we got to get to your book. G, Pastor Edmonds is not only a great preacher, not only a great just overall guy, but he is an amazing author. The latest book, The Frustrated Leader. G, talk to us about that for you, man.
Listen, this is a gift I got for Valentine's Day.
Yes, sir.
The Frustrated Leader. I got this along with a pair of kicks.
I saw that.
Shell Toe Adidas and the Frustrated Leader.
That's it.
And so
I said thank you. Tell her I said thank you, man.
Hey, I'll tell her. I'll sure enough tell her. And she gonna say, what, you were talking about me?
That's what was gonna happen.
So just, I mean, we can't go through the whole book because we were talking about something else for the most part, but we want to acknowledge the fact that you do have 2 books out that we definitely want the people to go out and get because they're life-changing. But Jess, I want to just ask you a question out of the book because I think it's a really deep question. And it's talking about the frustration of leadership. And it says, what do you do when you're frustrated? The question is, should it frustrate you to paralyzation or to action?
Yeah.
Does frustrating lead you to go sit down somewhere, or does it lead you to do something? And so that's the question that I wanted to pose to you.
Yeah, man. Listen, that's actually the premise of the book. And again, this is another book that's come out of personal experience. I think I got into a place like so many. Y'all seen them. Look, man, look around the ministry, and you very few older pastors that are positive, that are a demeanor of gratitude and encouragement. Like a lot of them can't even pour into us because they're so bitter and they're so jaded. And what I started seeing is I started becoming that way. And we know that the ministry has a way of doing that, especially pastoring the Adventist ministry. It has a way of stealing your joy. And I just became a complaining pastor, complaining about the members, complaining about the church, complaining about the conference, just complain. I don't know what it was, but I just, this thought in my mind was just like, dude, do you see what you're becoming? Like, did you start off wanting to be this guy? And so, man, the Lord just kind of impressed me, like, man, start looking in the Word. Everybody in the Word had something, especially Christ. They had a frustration, but they did not allow their frustration to paralyze them. They would use their frustration to mobilize them or to push them to accomplish something. So I believe that every vision is born out of frustration, that every great accomplishment is born out of frustration, that every great invention and idea is born out of frustration. And and if you can't do anything about the frustration, you ought to can it and throw it in file 13. Don't even worry about it. It's not your frustration. It's not under your control. But I believe that frustration for many of us is God-given. I believe God gives us he wants us to be angry about certain things and bothered about certain things because he knows we're uniquely gifted, skilled, and experienced to bring about solutions to those problems. And so a lot of times we don't look at frustration that way. We're trying to eliminate frustration. But the truth of the matter is look, everybody who does anything great in life always has a low level of frustration because that low level of frustration keeps them from complacency, getting to a place. Listen, if everything is all good for you, then I don't see how you can be a visionary leader and make change and move and move your congregation or your family or somebody, your community forward. There should always be, until Jesus comes, there should always be something where you're like, man, that needs to change. That needs to be fixed. But you're not just sitting around running your mouth complaining about stuff. You're saying now that I got the seed of frustration, how do I plant this thing, in good soil so that, in fact, I can use this to leverage this frustration to improve people's lives. And that's the point of this book. There's a lot. You know what this book is for? This book is for people who are like me, who are at their wits' end.
Yes, sir.
Impasse, and who are really almost, they think about giving up or whatever. Look, don't give up until you read this book. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So even when you bring up the frustration, it makes me think back to the fact that somebody told me at some point, when I was stressed out about something, that if you didn't, the only reason for a leader is to lead us out of something. Like if there were no problems or issues, then there'd be no need for leadership.
Right.
You know, so if you come into a situation that has some issues and some problems, that's a perfect place for a leader.
Right. Absolutely. And you know, the truth of the matter is, I think a lot of times God, first of all, the whole purpose of a vision, like God gets my vision. All leaders should God should give them, reveal to them, look, this is where you're taking that. And what a vision simply is, it's a preferred future. It's what should be, not what could be. It's what should be. What should be. It's a moral compulsion. It's like, look, man, I'm not resting until this thing is fixed. Come on, look at John Lewis just passed. How many times was John Lewis arrested?
Right.
Did y'all know that man, John Lewis, man, the conscience, they call him the conscience of Congress, man, the great representative, the preacher who walked beside Martin Luther King and was jailed with King and was brutalized by the cops with King in the civil rights movement, a giant. But this man, man, these guys, man, brought frustration deep within them, but they felt like they had a moral compulsion to do something about it. And so that's what a vision is for many of us. It's like, man, I got to do something about this. And not doing something about it is tantamount to sin for you. That's why I get so passionate about this thing, passionate about men, passionate about, you know, leadership church, because it's like, to me, if I don't fulfill this thing, if I don't try to solve this thing, then, man, I might be lost. This is my calling. This is my assignment. I'm built for this. That's what God called me to do, and I'm in it 100%.
Yeah, you know, I think for me, I think that book has helped me out a lot, The Frustrated Leader, because, you know, just because, especially for young pastors like myself coming into the ministry, especially having my own district, what's crazy is just because I'm a leader on paper doesn't mean I know how to lead. And I think that that just because I've been given the title of certain things as pastor doesn't mean that I know all the right steps, and experience plays a big factor. But I think that this book really helps, and not just pastors, a leader in any field. We have to grow as leaders. There's going to be some agitation. There's going to be some struggling along the way. There's going to be some frustration. If it's easy, you ain't really doing nothing. And so I just want to affirm that book is an outstanding book, man. So Myron, man, thank you so much for pouring that out of your own ministry.
Let me just say this real quick. Even the thing with the men, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing right now, like, I think a lot of times people are looking for the thing that's going to help them to blow up, be successful, you know, this stuff that I'm doing, I've been doing this stuff, man, bro. I've been having these conversations, been doing this, this is just not new. None of this stuff is new. A lot of stuff was poured into me by other mentors and people and friends. And so I just think, man, like, what is that thing for you, brother? What is that thing for you, my sister? What is that thing that God has made you passionate about? And I say, throw yourself into it 100%, commit your way to the Lord, and then the Lord will open up doors. He'll give you the desires of your heart. And so really, in a real sense, man, I'm just hoping, I don't know where this is going to go. I'm just being obedient in the moment. Right now, the Lord is saying, pour into brothers. And you know me on social media, it could change. Next week be something totally different. I don't know what it is. But right now, it is all about the brothers. You know, part of this Black Lives Matter thing, you know, watching all the stuff happen to Black men, this is me responding. This is me going to action. They killing brothers. I'm going to help brothers to live.
Right. Yo, I'm hyped for it. It's coming up. Myron, give us the dates one more time for that.
So 5 ways that men can win virtual conference. You need to go ahead and get you a spot. The last day to register is tomorrow. I got to close it, y'all. We got literally almost 800 people registered right now. Last time I checked, we had almost 800 people registered. And so that is on July the 26th. That's this Sunday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every brother bring another brother.
That's it.
And I don't know, maybe we might get to 1,000 by tomorrow. That's the goal. If we get to 1,000 by tomorrow, we're going to have to close. I don't care what time it is, but the goal is.
Those are watching on our Facebook. Those are watching on our Facebook. Those are watching on our YouTube page. The website's right there, MyronEdmonds.com. You can register. I registered the first day. Me and G got on there. We registered the first day, so we're going to be on there. You can also buy both of his books on the same website too. So, yo, Myron, Doc, we appreciate you, bro. G, what you got?
Hey, man, just always glad to have you, man. And I just had one last question before you go. I know it made it easy for you to become inundated with Cleveland sports. When you moved to Cleveland, one thing that made it easy for you was LeBron being in Cleveland. So I just want to know, did you hop over to the Lakers with LeBron, or
this
you
is a
still
question right here, everybody.
are you still number one Cleveland fan? Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth about it.
Now unto him that is able to keep for his presence was exceeding joy. Hey, now look. First of all, let me correct something that you said. It was not easy being a fan of Cleveland sports when I got here, because as soon as I got here, LeBron James left.
That's right. I remember that.
He left, and we had to endure all those years without him. But when the King came back, man, I had to support the King. And listen, man, the old Dan Gilbert, man, treating him, man, like a slave on a plantation. And so when he got us that championship, man, what am I going to do? Doggy, man?
No,
I can't support that brother. LeBron represents how men are winning. He is. I don't know where his spiritual life is, but I heard him say the man upstairs. That's all I need.
That's all you know.
Man upstairs.
That's all you know.
Yeah, you don't got to say, Yahshua HaMashiach. Listen, brother, as long as he says the man upstairs, man, he says that. Then look at his family. His family is in order. Come on, man. LeBron is winning. His family is in order. His finances is in order. His mentals is in order, man. Come on. How can I not support this man? He represents everything I stand for.
Yes,
sir.
That's it. That's it. You heard it here, man. Yo, appreciate you, bro, for coming on, man.
No, thanks for having me, man.
Well, welcome to the Lake Show, man. Welcome to the Lake Show.
I see that shirt. Hey, listen, I just want to encourage y'all. Yo, man, y'all stay with the thing, man. Listen, man, stay with the thing, man. I was watching my man Gary Vee the other day, and listen, he says, man, the spoils come to people who are consistently dropping content. Just consistently keep dropping it, and the views will increase, the followers will increase, the influence will increase, the amount of people's lives y'all gonna change will increase. Just stick with it, man. Stick with it.
Yo, much love, bro.
That's a word. That's a word. Appreciate it, Doc.
Yo,
appreciate it, man.
All right, man. Peace out, bro. Take care.
All right, man. Thanks for your time, Doc.
Peace.
Listen, glad y'all came here today, but we want to guarantee that you're able to hear some stuff like this again. Listen, I know some of you all come and check us out, but you have not liked the page. You've not followed the page. It will help you immensely and help us as well with the algorithms. If you actually like and follow the page, then you'll know what we got coming up. You'll know when it drops. Also, if you just do us a favor, just shoot over to YouTube. Find us on YouTube, The Academy with Austin and G. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Listen, whether you have an iPhone or Android, you can go to either Spotify or iTunes and you subscribe there, because sometimes you don't have time to sit down and watch something for an hour, but you can listen to it in your car. You can listen to it while you're doing the dishes or what have you. But so if you go to iTunes or to Spotify and subscribe, it'll automatically download to your phone. We're just trying to get this information out. You know, besides all those things we're trying to get you to do, share. Why keep a secret when everybody can benefit?
That's it.
So we appreciate you all coming today.
Content. We got a lot of bonus stuff, G. So I'm looking forward to what we got next. This is a big episode today. So y'all just love and appreciate those who've been following us, and we look forward to the other followers that we're going to get, those who are going to like the page. So we appreciate it.
God bless.
Peace. Take care.
You've been listening to the Academy Podcast with Austin and G. Hit the subscribe button and come again. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and of course, Facebook. Oh yeah, and if you know someone who could use the information you just gained, take a minute to share. Much love from the AP. Peace.